Comic books have long been a goldmine for successful media franchises. However, this popularity also brings a fair share of disappointments, with certain adaptations feeling more like blatant cash grabs than genuine creative efforts. Think of Joker Folly Adieu or the infamous Green Lantern, for instance. Despite these missteps, the world of comic book adaptations continues to thrive, with many standout series reminding us why we fell in love with these stories in the first place. And alongside the big screen, some comic book adaptations have already set a standard for themselves on the TV screen. So today, we will be ranking them accordingly to figure out which one was the best and which came the closest to being the best TV adaptation of all time. Starting with number 10, The Umbrella Academy. Imagine a super dysfunctional family made up of 7 siblings, each with some crazy superpower, adopted by this eccentric billionaire who trained them from a young age to save the world. Growing up was a mess, loads of drama, rivalry, and emotional baggage. Years later, they're brought back together after their dad dies, and they find themselves smack in the middle of an apocalypse. They do end up saving the world, but some other apocalypse still comes up again anyway. Seriously, they've saved the world at least 3 times by now. Or was it 4? Honestly, I've lost count. In the Umbrella Academy, they face villains, dig up long hidden family secrets, and deal with every personal issue you can imagine, from sibling rivalries to heartbreak. Despite all the chaos, they somehow manage to come together when it counts and keep the world from falling apart, even if they're falling apart themselves.
Vanya causes the apocalypse.
Number 9. Lucifer. In the beginning, the angel Lucifer was cast out of heaven and condemned to rule hell for all eternity, until he decided to take a vacation. And that's how it all began. Lucifer Morningstar, also known as the Devil, grows weary of his duties in hell and decides to leave it all behind for a fresh start in Los Angeles. There, he opens an upscale nightclub and tries to embrace life among humans. However, his unique ability to draw out people's hidden desires soon attracts the attention of the LAPD, and he unexpectedly finds himself working as a civilian consultant for Detective Chloe Decker. As they solve cases together, Lucifer begins to question his own nature, experiencing vulnerability around Chloe that challenges his self-image. Along the way, he grapples with family conflicts involving celestial siblings, explores questions about redemption, and navigates complex human relationships. The show follows Lucifer's journey as he balances his role as nightclub owner, crime-solving partner, and former ruler of hell. But it's not the story that made this series so exceptional, it's the presence of Lucifer himself. His charisma and character development make you feel sympathy for the devil, all the while admiring how far he can go to prove a point. With him around your corner, this show might just make your binge watch worthwhile.
What's your name?
Lucifer.
Apple.
Exactly.
Number 8. Loki. When the god of mischief got his own show, no one expected it to be this great. But as always, Loki surprises us all. The series dives deep into who Loki really is beyond the tricks and lies. After grabbing the Tesseract and escaping, he is captured by the TVA, an organization that keeps the timeline in check. Instead of being punished, he is recruited to help fix the mess he created. He partners with TVA agent Mobius, who believes Loki can change. Though Loki is not so sure himself, along the way he encounters variants of himself, learns surprising truths about the multiverse, and wrestles with his identity and fate. The Loki series takes us on a journey with him as he navigates self-discovery, redemption, and finding his place in a universe way bigger and stranger than he ever expected. All with that signature mischief only Loki can bring. What makes Loki amazing is how it combines Marvel's action with deep questions about identity and whether someone like Loki can really change. It's not just about saving the timeline, it's about Loki discovering who he really wants to be.
Ragnarok. Are you familiar?
Yes, the destruction of Asgard and most of its people. I'm sorry.
Yes. Very sad. Anyway, it got me thinking.
Number 7. The Flash. This is the story of the fastest man alive. Well, until a new and faster villain comes along each season to challenge him. But no matter who he faces, Barry Allen always finds a way to keep his title as the fastest. Barry starts out as a forensic scientist, driven by a personal mission to uncover the truth behind his mother's mysterious murder. But everything changes one night when a freak accident strikes. He is hit by a lightning during a particular accelerator explosion, giving him the power to move at incredible speeds. Barry becomes the Flash, Central City's hero, using his abilities to fight crime and protect those he loves. Along the way, Barry faces meta-human villains, speedsters from other dimensions, and powerful foes who push him to his limits. But through each challenge, he learns more about himself, the power of family and friendship, and what it truly means to be a hero. Even as new threats rise, Barry Allen never stops running, and he always comes out faster.
Lightning gave me abs.
Number 6. Arrow. At first watch, people might think of Arrow as a Batman ripoff, but it's way more than that. Although he does feel like Batman at first, Arrow soon settles himself as his own superhero with a significant role in his city and the universe itself. Arrow follows the story of billionaire playboy Oliver Queen, who goes missing and is presumed dead after a shipwreck. 5 years later, he returns to Star City, changed, hardened, and with a new mission. During his time away, he endured unimaginable hardships and trained to survive, and now he's ready to take on the city's corrupt underworld. Inspired by a list of names his father left him, Oliver becomes the vigilante known as the Arrow, targeting criminals and bringing justice to those who fail the city. With his signature green hood, he takes on powerful enemies from crime lords to other vigilantes and later even supervillains. Although it's a great show in its own right, the reason this series is so significant is the Arrow had a huge impact on superhero TV, launching the Arrowverse and inspiring multiple connected shows like The Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow. The Arrowverse was considered the equivalent of Marvel's MCU in the television industry for a long time, so it definitely is a big feat to start off a franchise like that.
You have failed this city.
Number 5. Watchmen. In a world where superheroes have been outlawed, Watchmen tells the tale of a dark and gritty reality where vigilantes once fought crime, but now must confront an even bigger threat. The story dives deep into the complex lives of former heroes, revealing their personal struggles and the impact they have left on society. The series begins with Angela Abar, a detective who dons a mask to become Sister Knight. In a time of racial tension and political unrest, Angela takes on a new mystery when a white supremacist group called the 7th Cavalry rises to power. This group is inspired by the writings of the former vigilante Rorschach, as they misinterpret his anti-establishment views as a justification for their extremist, white supremacist agenda. As she digs deeper, she uncovers a web of conspiracies involving corrupt leaders and a powerful organization plotting to reshape the world. Throughout the show, we see the return of the iconic figures like Dr. Manhattan, who possesses godlike powers and struggles with his own sense of humanity. Ozymandias, once the world's smartest man, is shown in exile, scheming his way back to relevance. Each character grapples with moral ambiguity, questioning the line between hero and villain in a world where justice is shrouded in gray. Number 4. Spider-Man the Animated Series. This show was a big deal for Marvel fans, bringing Peter Parker's world to life with exciting stories, bright animation, and classic characters. Today, there are countless versions of Spider-Man, but for kids, in the 90s, this was the Spider-Man show. The series follows Peter as he tries to balance being a college student with his responsibilities as Spider-Man. Facing famous villains like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, and Venom, it gave a fresh look at Peter's world, mixing action with deeper themes about responsibility and the struggle of living a double life. For a kids' show, its storytelling was groundbreaking, with plots that continued over several episodes, allowing for richer character growth and more engaging stories. It definitely became a defining version of Spider-Man, setting a high standard for superhero cartoons and introducing Marvel's stories to a larger audience.
Hey, that's city property! So I'm a taxpayer.
Number 3. The Boys. Oh, The Boys. If you've been online, you've probably seen the memes or heard about this show. It's practically everywhere. The Boys flipped the superhero genre on its head, showing us what it'd be like if superheroes were corrupt and reckless and only cared about their own fame. Instead of the usual noble heroes, we get a bunch of power-hungry maniacs. That's where the Boys come in, a group of regular people who've had enough of these so-called heroes and decided to fight back. Led by Billy Butcher, the team's mission is to expose and take down the Seven, the most powerful superhero group who are controlled by greed and fame. Butcher's personal vendetta against Homelander, the leader of the Seven, drives him to uncover dark secrets surrounding the heroes. Alongside Huey, whose girlfriend was killed by a hero, Butcher leads the group in a dangerous battle. With no superpowers, they rely on cunning and determination to fight back against the gods in capes, revealing the ugly truth behind the heroes. If you've ever been a fan of the superhero genre, then you'll feel this show as a downright middle finger to them. But despite its brutal take, you'll still find yourself hooked.
You boys okay?
Number 2. Batman the Animated Series. Widely celebrated as one of the best superhero shows ever created, this show brought a darker, more mature take on Batman's world. With stylish animation and complex storytelling, this animated series appealed to both kids and adults. The series introduced Gotham City as a shadowy, noir-inspired place, capturing the essence of Batman's gritty world. The show centers on Bruce Wayne as he confronts iconic villains such as the Joker, Two-Face, and Catwoman, delving into their origins and motivations in a way that's rarely explored. It also provides a deeper look at Batman, showcasing his internal conflict between his role as a hero and the personal sacrifice it demands. The series' standout voice acting, especially Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker, became iconic, as mature themes, compelling visuals, and layered characters made Batman, the animated series, groundbreaking, setting the bar for superhero animation and cementing Batman's place as a cultural icon.
Batman, it's really you. Am I missing something?
Number 1. Daredevil. Many comic book shows have come and gone, but none have set the bar for superhero television quite like Daredevil did. With its gritty, street-level storytelling and intense action sequences, this show redefined what we could expect from comic adaptations. Here, you will meet Matt Murdock, a blind lawyer by day and vigilante daredevil by night, who has the world stacked against him. Growing up in Hell's Kitchen, he was trained by a sense of justice that led him to become a protector of the innocent. But the journey hasn't been easy. Between battling ruthless criminals like Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, and the everyday balance of his dual life, Matt faces constant internal and external turmoil. Though he fights to save his city, Matt Murdock struggles with his own demons, which constantly trying to hold on to his humanity while he is saving others. The world may call him a hero, but for Matt, the true fight is against his inner darkness. He is a man who might be blind, but his unshakable sense of justice allows him to see everything clearly. And in the end, it's this clarity that makes him the true hero Hell's Kitchen needs.
How many fingers am I holding up?
One.
And that concludes our list for the comic book adaptations. If you agree or disagree with this list, be sure to let us know your opinions in the comments.